Massive amounts of dead fish are washing ashore all across Tampa Bay. Local experts say it's early in the season to see concentrations of red tide this high.
So other than those few clips that you saw from Fox 13, I went around in about 25-30 minutes, filmed those thousands of fish that you saw dead washed up on shore. And the red tide is a big deal right now. A lot of people are talking about it. And I didn't want to make this a dreary, sad video, but this video is just a little bit, is to raise a little bit of awareness and also to just give a little bit of hope. So what can you do? We can become members of associations like the CCA or Captains for Clean Water. These are places that fight the politicians. They stand up against politicians, whether that be dumping or putting money into things that don't need to be put money into, instead of putting it into things that can actually help our environment. And associations like that are a way that you can support efforts. So become a member of Captains for Clean Water, become a member of CCA. I believe, I haven't researched this, but I believe CCA helped in getting FWC to close redfish, trout, and snook in our area right now. That actually just happened today at the time of filming this video. So I believe they helped in doing that. That's something that can help. The damage is already done though. So we need to take steps to help the future and be predator prepared for things like this. We can't be dumping phosphorus into the water. We can't be using fertilizers that run off into the water from streets, fertilizing your grass. Sewage is another big one that gets dumped a ton in our area here in Pinellas County and Hillsborough County. And these are things that the politicians can be stood up to against. And so putting some money, if a bare minimum, putting some money into those associations can help. So without further ado, that's a little update on the red tide and how we can help and what we can do to stand up against some of the things that are causing these problems. Red tide is obviously a natural occurrence, but there's things that make it worse. So on that, let's get into the fishing for the day and see how we did. Welcome to the life of a night fisherman. Well, it's time to do this. All right, what time are you thinking of leaving?
Probably 15, 20 minutes, I'll be ready.
15, 20. All right, perfect. So what you're saying is I can get a couple games of Apex in. I read you. Okay, let's try this again. Corey's leaving the house. That means I can leave the house. So it looks like the game plan for tonight is to head over to one of our local lakes, which sounds a little crazy already. We're heading over to a lake where some finger mullet usually hang out, and we're gonna try something a little bit different tonight. We're gonna go, hopefully, and catch a few finger mullet that can possibly bring tarpon to surface, and then surface to fish, and then boom, and everybody happy. So that's the game plan. Try to go catch a couple of little fingerling mullet, bring them, or big ham bones wouldn't be bad either, and then bring them to the bridge, and underneath the light with a huge mullet. Could you imagine a mullet exploding on the surface, or a tarpon exploding on the surface eating a mullet? I'm stoked. Well, you might tell by the lack of wetness of my shirt, or maybe it's that there's no mullet in the footage right now. We didn't get any live finger mullet, so it's back to basics. back to using artificial jigs and soft plastics, the stuff we like to do. That's okay. The lake was full of grass, so no mullet for us tonight. Maybe another night we'll be able to get that mullet exploding on top footage for you guys and for us to enjoy. Game plan now is just head to the ramp and see what the conditions are like. We're in the middle of a nasty red tide, so hopefully the water's clean and hopefully we can get on a few fish. Oh yeah. Nice. If this bait doesn't get bit, nothing will. This thing looks nice. Two-tone, chartreuse and blue. Yeah. Almost fell in. He's so white. You think it's because he's dying? I don't think he's gonna live. That's what we're dealing with. That's the first landed fish of the night. So that's what we're dealing with. I've never actually seen fish that white, or a grunt that white.
It's weird, all the snook have been right on the bottom. Not like on the...
We gotta get out of this town. Boom. Really?
They've all been
kind of decent. Here you go. On the broken bait. Broke back bait. Decent snook. Actually a decent snook. Alright, this is the Corey episode. He's got a chunky. Kind of a chunky little fish.
That's bad.
Little past snook. Oh, yeah! That actually kind of scared me somehow. Whoa. I thought I was going to get stabbed in the eye. Whoop! Got a little water in the eye. No big deal. A little red tide water. Every one of those little white specks is a dead fish. There's thousands of them. And that's just what we can see. I just woke up. We fished all night, didn't see any life really at all. Corey caught a couple of snook. That was somewhat miraculous. I hooked a grunt. I mean, normally would have caught 15, 20, 30 fish of a various species, but we didn't get one little grouper bite, one snapper bite. It was just bad, and there was thousands of dead fish everywhere. I've actually never seen that many dead fish from red tide in my life in our area. I think it's gonna be a little bit before I fish out here again. I'm gonna have to try to travel and fish up north, maybe. Something, find somewhere where there's no red tide. I'm definitely gonna go scalloping and hopefully make a scallop video. Maybe even hit up some other people to go fish with. So that's what's on the horizon. I don't see myself going back out in the red tide in the next couple weeks at least. So that's the update. That's what I'm sticking to. Hope you enjoyed this update, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.